I find so funny about the Sydney Sweeney situation is how men will always assume that we have the exact same standard of beauty that they do. Men always assume they are the ultimate authority when it comes to what is acceptable for how a woman looks and what is really truly beautiful. And I knew this before, but it just goes to show exactly how self-absorbed the male gaze is, and I want to go over that in detail in this video. Men will accuse us of being jealous because they think that we see things exactly the way they do. Well, in reality, women are true lovers of beauty, and men, well, at least under the patriarchal male gaze, only value conformity. And they actually don't value femininity or beauty at all. Let me explain. The difference between the male gaze and the female gaze is vastly different in its principles. The male gaze under patriarchy is based off of a capitalistic consumerist system. They only value female beauty as long as it is easily consumable. They want it to be mild, unthreatening, and deeply unoriginal. They want a beauty that reflects their conformist values. They box themselves in with their standards, and they want to box everyone else in as well. But the female gaze, which is what I would argue is the true standard of beauty, values expression. Instead of objectifying, it connects with you emotionally. It is more holistic and inherently more wholesome. Men want a type of beauty they can easily consume, digest, and dispose of, while true beauty actually is art and it is timeless. And my last point is the very root of it all. Men under patriarchy do not want women at all. They want men with boobs. In reality, these men are very DL, if you ask me. This is because patriarchy and men who are under the patriarchy have completely erased the feminine completely. They don't value femininity at all. Because true femininity at its core, especially when you look at ancient traditions, is the energy that animates life. It is the energy that leads to expression. This is why in Hinduism, Shakti, it means feminine energy, but it also means power. And a woman like Sydney Sweeney is not in her power. She is simply meeting and catering a standard rather than setting it, which is what women are meant to do. We are meant to set the standard. And the reason that a lot of women don't find Sydney Sweeney beautiful is not just because of her outward looks. I think it's also because we can see deeper than most men can. And so women will look at Sydney Sweeney and they will see the lifelessness behind the eyes. We will see how she is dimming her divine beauty and her authenticity to cater to men who only value conformity. The male gaze is incredibly shallow, and it will take even the most ethereal woman like Megan Fox and boil her down into a basic understanding of her beauty. So this is the male gaze versus the female gaze part 2. In my last video, we discussed how Sydney Sweeney is catering to the male gaze, and how Sydney Sweeney does not really embody what women typically value, which is why I think a lot of women say that she's not their cup of tea. But I want to make something very, very clear. She could be. Let me give an example of a woman who once appeared to be very basic and very consumable beauty for the male gaze, but has completely changed her brand. And it's Addison Rae. Addison Rae is an example of what Sydney Sweeney could be if she were to change her brand around. Addison Rae started her brand as the very pretty girl next door. But people are noticing within the last, year or so that she has completely changed her aesthetic. Now it is very clear that she has changed her brand for the female gaze. And do you notice how the female gaze is so much more artistic? Like I discussed in my last video, the male gaze is based on capitalism and consumerism. But I would argue the true beauty standard is the female gaze. And unlike the male gaze under the patriarchal system, it truly values real femininity. Femininity that is expressive, that is ethereal, that is powerful, and is true. Like I discussed in my last video, most men want just men with boobs. They don't have any room, there's no room under patriarchy to appreciate femininity. And this is why I say that women are the true lovers of beauty. When you take the art out of beauty, you get the male gaze. But when you restore the art to beauty, you get the female gaze, and I would argue is really the only true beauty. So this is just a reminder to women that next time you don't fit into the beauty standard, just recognize it is a standard that is meant to play on your insecurities, to sell you things, and to use you. But true beauty is essence, and you already have it.